This year, I know that we've been through a lot of starts and stops and changes. And one of the things I want you to take away right now is that behavior tends to unravel when things become unpredictable or inconsistent. And these are the things that make you go, So as you watched people in general in the past 2 years either handle things really well or not well, I want you to think about this. Think about your school, think about the classrooms you work in, think about the kids you work with, and ask yourself, how much of what we do is predictable and consistent? Those are the two words that matter the most when it comes to getting our success in school, having our kids engaged or whatever it is we want them to do. They like consistency, we like predictability. When we don't have it, we tend to unravel. So we don't do well under conditions when things are out of control, when things are uncertain, when we're unsure of what's coming next, when the school changes the rules on us in the middle of something. We don't like the unknown. We don't like things that are unreliable. We depend on things to be there for us, and when they're not, we tend to get squirrely. These are natural things that impact our behavior. We don't like unpredictable, undetermined, unsettled, unreasonable, unresolved, inconsistent, unstable. That's been a lot of what's happened in the past year and a half. So just to bring us there with a little background of the impact of the environmental stuff that's happened, and this is all of what that's made of. So as we move on with that, we go back to like that whole model of what's the research behind Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Just want to introduce this to you because it's so solid information that's been out there since the 1940s. When this was designed, it really told us that our behavior is based on a hierarchy of needs. We need our physiological needs met, food, water, warmth, a relatively consistent temperature, which is an interesting concept in New England. We need to be safe and secure. And then we can go on to what we call our sense of belonging. And regardless of your diagnosed disability in special education or not, without that sense of belonging or human connection, it makes it very hard for you to learn. And so we always have to pay attention to that. And once you get there, you can actually be more self-actualized. You can do harder math. You can take more risks. Now, here's the thing. When kids don't have that sense of belonging or feel like they can walk in the room and know what's going on, they're going to take risks eventually because they're going to look for that. And oftentimes those risks are not good risks. So what's happened during this whole pandemic is people went from a sense of belonging and maybe even esteem needs that they were at, and they went right down to physiological and safety needs. And so we as a society experienced that, and that kind of set us back a little bit. So that's why as teachers, we are not surprised that our kids right now don't have the stamina for a 6-hour day. As they were learning from home, as things were changing, they kind of got a little like, I don't have to do this anymore. So it's going to take them longer to get back to the ability to do the things that they used to be able to do. The whole research behind this is that you don't get rigor without relationships. And so you can't bloom, which is what we use in teaching when we're teaching from, basic memorizing things to, building engineering marvels. You can't get there if you don't have your basic needs met.